Chapter 15: The Key to Everlasting Happiness. As mentioned in previous chapters, the subconscious mind holds infinite potential that can be used to overcome practically any obstacle we may face in life. It provides us with infinite wisdom when we need it the most, and, as noted by renowned American psychologist and philosopher William James, this makes the subconscious mind the greatest discovery of the 19th century. Because the subconscious mind gives us the power to overcome any difficulty, would it be wrong to say that the subconscious mind also holds the key to everlasting happiness? After all, if the subconscious mind is able to eliminate that which vexes us, surely it must be considered a crucial ingredient to happiness. The answer is a simple and emphatic yes. Everlasting happiness comes when you are at peace with yourself and the people around you. When you are in touch with your subconscious mind and all its abilities to heal your body, bring prosperity and abundance into your life, and manifest the kind of life you have always desired for yourself and your loved ones. Happiness is not as elusive as you think. You may have experienced little moments of happiness in life that were taken for granted. For example, you might remember graduating from college and the jubilant feeling of triumph during that particular moment in your life. Or perhaps the time your partner accepted your proposal of marriage, or when you welcomed your firstborn into the world, or when you received that long overdue promotion at work. Yet not many people are content with these short-lived moments of happiness, and understandably so. Choose to be happy. A lot of people tend to forget that they have the choice of whether they want to be miserable or they want to be happy in life. Happiness is not something physical that you can buy or hold in your hands. It is a purely mental state, one that is definitely attainable if you so desire it. Like so many things in life, attaining happiness is about how much you desire it and how much effort you put in order to manifest it into your life. And again, like other things you wish to attain, you can achieve happiness by way of prayer and affirmations. Start each day with the following prayer. Today, and each day of my life, is taken charge by heavenly order. This is a brand new day for me, and everything will work in harmony for me. I am in control, and I will prosper in whatever I seek to do. I am surrounded by love, and I will move forth in life in peace. I attract everything that gives me an abundance of prosperity and blessings. I will be protected from distractions and negative thoughts. I will be happy throughout my entire day. Each time you evoke such prayers or affirmations, you will essentially build a strong foundation of love, acceptance, peace, and most importantly, happiness. Cultivate happy habits. Years ago, I was fortunate enough to experience life through the eyes of a farmer on the coast of Ireland for all of 2 weeks. Despite his simple life, this man radiated happiness. He did not possess the riches that so many of his peers seemed to covet. His house was Spartan at best, and he once mentioned that he did not have enough in his bank account to properly fix the leaking roof of his house. Yet he was always in high spirits, often with a smile on his face. It was not uncommon to hear him whistling a tune or singing while working in the fields. I was curious how someone living such a simple, almost austere life could be so happy. His reply was as simple as the life he led. It has become a habit. Each day before I go to bed, I give thanks and show my appreciation for my family and for everything that has been provided. I thank my family, the cattle, and the crops. Each time I do this, I feel a sense of happiness flowing through me, and over time, this becomes a habit. Now I feel happy all the time. If someone who owns so little in ways of material wealth could find happiness, why then does happiness elude so many who have been blessed with a more than decent life? Why have you not found happiness? It's simple. Most of us live in a society that emphasizes the pursuit of excellence and material gain. We scratch and claw to get to the top, with thoughts of riches and success in our minds. The one thing that is at the forefront of our minds is not happiness, but something else that we believe would lead to happiness. Things such as a successful career or a life of abundant wealth. While there is absolutely nothing wrong in aspiring to be at the top of the corporate ladder or earning a six-figure income, in order for you to attain the everlasting happiness that you desire, you have to be explicitly clear that happiness is what you really desire. Another thing that keeps you from being truly happy is resignation. A lot of people are used to the idea that happiness is so elusive, so unattainable, that it is mere fantasy and that they should not waste time pursuing such trivial matters. It is this mentality that prevents the majority of people who are not happy from being happy. Many of these people are so used to being sad and unhappy that even if they are blessed with wonderful news, they react cynically, consciously or subconsciously rejecting the sense of happiness that they should be receiving. Just as the happy-go-lucky farmer earlier had made a habit of cultivating happiness in his life, these people have made a habit of cultivating unhappiness in theirs. Even though happiness is a state of mind and a choice, these people have chosen to be unhappy, whether they realize it or not. Why choose to be unhappy? You may or may not be aware of this, but the state of unhappiness you may find yourself in could very well be your own doing. A lot of people inadvertently choose to be unhappy by affirming their happiness by entertaining thoughts such as, something isn't right. I'm just sure nothing is going to go right for me. I'm going to fail. This business is going to go from bad to worse. I don't get the respect I deserve. I'm always treated unfairly. Nobody agrees with me and supports my view. I'm going to be late. I'm always late. That type of mentality serves to only bring you a sense of dread. Remember, the subconscious mind is so powerful that it can manifest your thoughts. So if you harbor such negative thoughts in your mind at the very start of your day, you should only blame yourself when your fears of doom and gloom end up manifesting themselves. Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius said it best, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." This simply means that negative thoughts make one's life unhappy, while positive thoughts make one's life happy. The thoughts that you bring to mind work hand in hand with the law of attraction to bring you the very things which you desire or focus on. Thus, if you seek happiness, you must always engage in positive and happy thoughts and banish from your mind everything that is negative, everything that acts as a barrier between you and happiness. Not all that glitters is gold. As mentioned earlier, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking that happiness has to be preceded by something. Most are convinced that happiness can only be found through a successful career or a ridiculously large bank account, which is why the majority of people slave away at jobs they resent, hoping beyond hope that by the time they reach the top of their careers, they will find the happiness that has been eluding them all this while. Also, there are those who firmly believe that happiness can be found in the latest, greatest, most expensive pieces of technology, like a high-definition television, or a six-figure luxury car, or designer clothes, or a ridiculously large and expensive property with hired help. But while it is true that such luxuries may create enjoyable experiences that might even provide brief moments of joy, always remember that true, everlasting happiness can never be bought or represented in any material fashion. It is a state of mind that has no physical representation of any kind. Can't or won't. The problem with most people who are unhappy is that they are convinced that happiness simply cannot be found. This has a lot to do with the earlier section about choosing to be unhappy, and the fact that their mentality of, "I simply cannot find happiness," is their choice of being helpless. They have been conditioned all their lives with the notion that happiness can never be found, and as such, they find difficulty in reversing that conditioning. Consider the example of circus elephants. Young elephants, when first trained, are tied to a small stake fixed into the ground. They are leashed to this stake using a rope that is about 5 feet long. On instinct, the young elephant tethered to this stake will initially try to free themselves, but most infant elephants will not have the strength to do so. Because of the survival instinct ingrained in them, they continue to try and free themselves. But there comes a point in time when the elephant stops trying altogether, as it realizes that any attempt to free itself is futile. It is convinced that it has not the strength to do so, even though it is now an adult elephant, fully capable of ripping out the stake from the ground and freeing itself from captivity. Its mind has been conditioned by time and the circumstances that it has been subjected to for years. And the sad truth is that now what stands between the elephant and freedom is simply its belief that it cannot free itself. Just like the elephant, many of us are tethered to our past. It does not even have to be a past that we personally experienced. It could be a cautionary tale we might have heard about someone's failed attempt at trying to find happiness. It could be something we might have read or seen on television that instills in us the fear of reaching for the stars, More often than not, it is the influence of our parents that hold us back from pursuing our dreams, as they tell us that we need education, a good job, money, and other practical means to find happiness. Personal failures, or even fears of such, serve as the strongest obstacle in our bid to break free and seize happiness for ourselves. To attain true, everlasting happiness, you must believe that you can and that you will achieve such a feat. You have within you the means to attain true happiness, and it is called the subconscious mind. You need nothing else other than the desire, the decision to be happy. Nothing in this world can sway you from happiness if it is the one thing that you truly desire above all else. Try this. The most important thing you have to remember is that your subconscious mind cannot manifest happiness if you yourself are conflicted about what makes you happy. You will not find happiness if you do not believe that everlasting happiness can and will be yours. You have to really, sincerely desire for happiness in order to receive lasting happiness. Here are the 3 fundamental principles to happiness that you need to follow in order to manifest everlasting happiness in your life. Positivity. Even if you have a considerable amount of material wealth, you may not necessarily find happiness. You may live in a large mansion, own a fleet of luxury cars, earn a disposable income enough to feed a small nation for 10 years. But if your mental state of mind is anything but positive, you will find that nothing material you have in the world would matter one single bit. Many mistake material success as something that would eventually lead to happiness, and while in some cases that may prove to be true, the sad truth is that not everyone finds happiness despite having success in their life. Happiness is a state of mind, and it is not something that can be bought or owned. The very definition of happiness comes from a variety of positive emotions, such as serenity, contentment, enthusiasm, thrill, pride, vigor, joy, and even curiosity. It goes without saying that these emotions come from the creation of happy moments, brought about by positive, happy experiences. Barbara Fredrickson, Kenan Distinguished Professor of Psychology at University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, has stated that monetary experiences of pleasure and happiness, though often dismissed by most as trivial, serve to broaden horizons and strengthen various attributes of self, such as social, physical, and intellectual traits. For example, if you enjoy exercise, you may feel invigorated after a particularly vigorous workout, which, in turn, may enhance your creativity. That, in turn, leads to new ideas of how to keep your relationship with your partner interesting, leading to a strengthening of said relationship, giving you boundless satisfaction and making you a more committed person, which, in turn, makes you more optimistic toward anything life throws at you, and so on and so forth. Time and variety. Knowing what makes you happy is all well and good, but the key to making happiness last is time. You may have a list of every single activity that makes you happy, but what will you do once you complete every single activity on that list within, say, a month? Time is essential in the maintenance of happiness. You need to consider the frequency and duration of each activity so that you will be able to derive the greatest satisfaction and maximum pleasure from each activity you engage in. Different periods in your life, which require different strategies to create happiness, may also be something to consider. There could be times when you may be desperate to form happy thoughts or emotions to cope with what you might deem as an unpleasant situation. So you need to set aside time to engage in an activity that brings you a happier, more serene state of mind. Try keeping a list of various activities or strategies that you can engage in for such difficult times. For example, if you dread receiving the in-laws for company, one of your strategies could be to set aside an hour-long session of meditation that would reinforce the emotions of happiness, gratitude, or even just tolerance so you are able to endure the visit. The key here is to figure out what activity or strategy works best for a particular situation, and then engaging in that particular strategy. Support. A lot of us have a network of social connections, which act as a form of support when we need it. No matter how we look at it, humans are by nature social creatures that depend on each other in some way, shape, or form to realize many of our aspirations. So it should be no surprise that the third most important key to finding happiness is to have support from your network of friends and family. Strong, meaningful relationships are crucial in fostering happiness in your life. George W. Brown, a renowned British psychologist and author of Social Origins of Depression, a study of psychiatric disorder in women, stated that women who have at least one friend are better able to cope with problems than those without friends. Even the most introverted person would need to confide in someone every now and again. When trying to change your mindset toward happiness, it is important for you to surround yourself with the kind of people who can provide you with the necessary support that you need. Be friends with people who have a positive attitude towards life if you wish to instill more positivity in yourself. Seek the company of those who seem to have found happiness if you wish to learn how to attain it for yourself. Establishing relationships with these people will provide you not only the positive support and encouragement that you need, but invaluable insight on what can be done for you to finally achieve the happiness you seek.